In the comic collecting system, there are two groups who are equally important in the collection of the hobby: the collectors who buy the books and the speculators who sell the books to the collectors. These are their stories. Good evening, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics, and tonight my guest is the Immortal Biggishaq himself from the Biggishaq Network. How you doing, Biggie?
Doing good. I'm glad you had me on. I appreciate the invite, Matt. Hope you're
Well, I
doing good.
appreciate having you here. Hello, Andreas. I see you're in the comments. Cool. Basically, so tell me, Biggie, what have you been up to lately?
Not much. Just trying to get through this month. December seems to be like a pretty intense month of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with the holidays and year ends for everything and all that stuff, it can get expensive and tiring quite fast, actually.
Seems like all the stuff you kind of ignored for the whole year just kind of ramps up on you at the end. You know?
Yeah. Last weekend, my wife and I had to do some quick. Okay, kids, you're home. You guys go play by yourself for 4 hours or so while we go shopping for your presents, kind of thing. So and that
Right.
was like the stores right now with the mail strike here in Canada. A lot of people have to go to the stores instead of getting everything delivered. So it's like double the people we're used to, and it was just so hard. Luckily, though, we were very successful in our hunt, and we don't have to go back. So, but boy, it was an expensive day. Let's see. We've got SideQuest Comics. How are you? And Mike Dennis, glad you can make it. Okay, we're going to get started then with our first feature, which I call First Impressions. I'm going to show some books, and Biggie's going to tell me what he thinks of them, what his first thoughts are when I show them. This here is Superman Girlfriend number 75, Lois Lane. She is basically a dictator, and you got Superman about to execute some people on the cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that, and you on Instagram you said like she can. What can't this lady do, or something like that to that effect. And
Exactly.
yeah, for me, whenever I saw that cover, I've seen it before, but Lois Lane is a handful to say the least with
That is true.
being Superman's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I mean, she looks pretty sharp there in her outfit. She looks good and stuff. She's a pretty girlfriend, but at the
Mhm.
end of the day, like I don't know if she's worth all the hassle Superman deals with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she can. And in this particular book, Lois does a lot of different stuff, and it helps to understand the cover, knowing that in the book, Lois has to act like this because her mother and sister and father have all been kidnapped, and she's being forced to do this, or they're going to get killed. Still, interesting book, interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we're going to do Superboy 132. Basically, the hero who was braver than Superboy.
Yeah, I believe that's the first appearance of the Supremo or something like
It
that.
is. It's his only appearance because he dies in the issue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, whenever I've had that book too, and yeah, it's kind of sad it's his only appearance because what a name, Supremo, that outfit, the yellow, the purple, like
Yeah.
I was hoping for a little bit more content from that guy. So I feel like it's a great cover, a good first appearance. You know, that's what I
Mhm.
look at when I see that book, yes. And then Superman's beat up and that guy looks immaculate, you know.
Yeah. Well, you're obviously familiar with the story where Superman looks beat up because he changed outfits in order to give the guy confidence that he could beat the monster that Superboy couldn't. So
Mm.
next up, one of the many interpretations of this Conan story of the Frost Giant's daughter. This is Conan from Dark Horse number 2.
Are those nipples?
Not quite. They're covered up. That's her hair.
Okay. My impression is a little bit of a booby book situation, and I always feel a little uncomfortable whenever I have booby books in my collection, so I tend to either give them away or sell them.
Mhm. So that's fair.
Yeah.
The Frost Giant's Daughter is the second ever story written by the original Robert Howard for Conan, and is probably one of the most popular stories. So it always gets, every time there's a new Conan series, they always redo that story.
Yeah, yeah.
Some
I mean,
reason.
I
And
like girl characters. I just don't like them like provocatively
yeah,
pointed out.
I get it too. I mean, before Alan came along and Steppo, I wasn't big
You
on.
have a big influence up there. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, like I was basically only collecting superhero, but now, plus with the channel, I want to have a mix.
That's
Speaking of
cool.
mix, this next book is Stormwatch 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked this one because I personally like the cover a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have a couple long boxes full of those image era early 90s, and that looks like a fun read. It's probably got some cool art on the inside.
It
Story may
really
not
does.
be as great as some stories, but it would probably be a fun flip through for me. I think that's cool.
Mhm. I found the story a little harder to follow per
Mm-hmm.
se, but that's probably because I don't know everything behind it. Kind of similar to that X-Men we did on the book club.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the last one we're going to have is number 11 of John Sable Freelance. Now, this book is a James Bond type book. So, that is why the cover is like that. She is the bad guy of the issue.
Yes. That looks fun. I like cats. It kind of looks like my cat.
Mhm.
I have a black cat. Great looking comic. Good art.
Well, it's a Mike Grell cover. So Mike Grell
Yeah,
is the writer and the artist for this issue. He did both pencils and inks.
you could see the talent. I mean, it don't seem like a story that I would like love to get into, but it looks very talented and well done.
It's better than honestly. It's really good. This one, I've read 3 issues of John Sable in the last couple days, including that one. That is by far the best of the 3, and it's the most action oriented, and it's got a bit of a mystery to it. So it actually comes across as a pretty good book,
Nice.
and I really enjoyed it. So before we get going, share with us the plans you might have for your channel in the next little while.
All right. Well, for the next collector club, I'm thinking we might do a wrap up for the end of the year and ask everybody to bring in books they've received only from this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we might do that. Might just have like we've been ramping up the competition lately. I just want to have like a laid back, comfortable hour or so of just hanging out and showing everybody and talking to everybody instead of like a main event kind of deal. I appreciate Matt. Matt is not only on the club, he's also in the book club that I do on my channel. And this week is going to be Captain America #1, which I've already read. Have you got to read it yet?
I read it on Sunday. It's pretty good.
It's pretty fucking good. Yeah, I was telling D about it, and he's a little. Me and him ain't in the same boat of our criticisms of comic book art,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like he's going to enjoy it. You never know. I know I loved it, and we'll grade it tomorrow.
It's Kirby. It's nothing. What's not to love? It's Joe
It was,
Simon.
yeah,
And
it's a pretty big jump from the other books we've seen from the Golden Age, I think. So,
yeah. Speaking of the book club, I came across this in a dollar bin, so I picked it up. We had done this for book club.
there you go. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So
Damn, $1, dude.
Yep, for the reprint. It was pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Alan and I went to a show this past weekend. That's all 5 books I showed today were from that show. So
Very cool.
I had a really good some good pickups, which I've recorded and will be in a video later this week. So the next thing we're going to do is Biggie. You're going to show books.
I don't want to skip a part of your. I failed on my my paying attention. I don't digest information well, but I do want to show. I'll just have to show it off my phone, but I will pick an animal,
okay.
a pet.
Well,
Yeah.
In that case, we're going to do a new section that I call Silly Pet Books.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to make you big.
Okay. So my silly pet, which people that have followed my channel would know this, is that I am a big Gwenpool fan. And the news right now is Jeff the Landshark is big because of the new video game.
Yes, that is true. I've seen Jeff the Shark appearances going up like crazy.
I was reminded by Cali Comics that I was suggesting getting Jeff the Landshark's first appearance months ago. I've been telling people about this character for a while now, and I'm just going to use Jeff the Landshark #1.
Nice.
I can't get in my comic book room, but I forgot this part, and I figured this is probably my favorite sidekick animal, so
right,
this would be perfect.
Wonderful. What do you like the most about him?
Well, I don't think a lot of people know. When Gwenpool first came out, I was very intense on getting every scrap of her content. So I got the West Coast Avengers, the Gwempians, the Gwenpool Volume 1, Volume 2, et cetera, et cetera. And first of all, Gwenpool's first sidekick wasn't a shark; it was a pig.
Right.
So for people that don't know, like the pig, if you ever see a pig pop up more comics, it's alluding to her first sidekick. But Jeff the Landshark is first of all land shark. It reminds me of the sharks from the Weapon H series, but a lot cuter and smaller. And he's fearless. He can destroy almost any opponent.
Right.
I've seen him beat monsters that are 30-story skyscraper monsters. If you read Deadpool, the King of the Monsters, there's a few panels where he takes on all of them. And there's hundreds of monsters. All was left was Jeff. So he's a very fearless, brave character, and I would put him up against almost anybody in the Marvel universe, honestly. So that's my synopsis of Jeff.
That is pretty cool. Sharks in general seem to be doing well. King Shark was starting to do great again after that Harley Quinn cartoon came out, where he was one of her sidekicks that was a big part of the show. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that the Jabberjaw cartoon is starting to get traction. For those that like cartoons out there, especially classic ones, YouTube has just about every cartoon you can find from the 1970s now on there, somewhere on there. And Jabberjaw seems to be picking up out there. Okay. Next up, we're going to do a biggie. I want you to show the five books you brought us, and just tell us what you like all about them.
Okay, great. So I'm outside of my comic book room because my girlfriend picks my son up, and it takes about 2 or 3 hours for him. She does it a special way because she wants him to know where she's at in line. So I'm a considerate boyfriend, and I let her take a nap during the afternoon. So sometimes I'll be out in the living room. I couldn't miss Matt's because Matt is so generous with his time, and I appreciate you putting up with me and my kid. He ain't bothering us too much, but I did pull 5 books out of my comic book room, and I'll show them with you. So this right here is my favorite Iron Man cover, and this is before Hulk Annual 1.
Right.
And I believe Hulk Annual 1 homages this. This isn't the first time you see this style of homage. This is, in my opinion, homaging the god Atlas, where he has the world on his back.
Yes, it does. It does remind me of that too. There's
Mhm.
there is an atlas drawn similar to that in a Wonder Woman book. So
Right. And this is the third appearance of Iron Man. I feel like, in my opinion, I would love to have that first Iron Man. I never had it in hand, but when I just look at them, I feel like this is the best cover out of the early Iron Man. And I was drawn to it early in my collecting. I'm a big Jack Kirby fan, so
yeah,
I got this for like $70, and I'd say to get a book in this condition of this copy, it'd probably be about $200 or $300 now. So
it certainly looks like it's in good shape.
it's not the worst condition. This was about 5 years ago. I got this book, and it's definitely appreciated since then. So it's also a first appearance of Doctor Strange, not the Doctor Strange we know
Yeah,
of, but
the original is he even the original. I think he might be the second one. I think there were three
yeah,
total, with Stephen Strange being the third.
it's just a weird Doctor Strange character guy. I don't know how many times he pops up, but this was his first appearance of this incarnation, and
Is he a sorcerer in this as well?
I think he's more of a scientist, but he could be
Okay,
a sorcerer. I'd have to. I never read it. I've had a few reprints, but I just bought it for the cover. Honestly, like I'll probably pop open a reprint one day.
awesome.
So that's the first book. Put that bad boy up. Okay, so my second book is another Jack Kirby. Fantastic 459.
Hi, Thomas. Yes, that's another good book.
Yeah,
That's a true banger right there.
it's a bangerang, dude. I got this before I got my FF48, way before. It's about half as expensive. It's a fun book to get if you got around $500. You know, you get your nice solid copy of it. Um, I would say it's a top 20, 30 Jack Kirby cover. It's up there. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I would agree. Do you know who did the inks, or
I'm not sure. No, I don't know exactly, but
I'm not familiar with who was in the bullpen back then. So
yeah, it's the first full Galactus, they say. Second Silver Surfer. In my opinion, I have both of them. It's the second of each, in my opinion, because he was in FF48, you know. So some people call it the first full. I don't agree with that, but I do feel like it's a good one to have. Like I
yeah,
would not skip over it because it's probably the better cover. It's hard for me to pick and choose. It's like picking children.
yeah,
The
I'm a big FF fan. So any of those big keys, so one of these days I'll get them.
Yeah, the FF48 kind of has like a more artsy feel, and that one has more of a comic book feel. So it's just like I don't know which one I like more. I like them both. So this one, I wanted to get all the premier Kirby issues, or no, not just Kirby, but premier when Marvel did the premier #1s. And
Right.
this isn't a Kirby. I think this is Gene Colan, but we got. I'd say this is one of the more expensive premiere issues. Was
Yeah,
Iron Man 1.
and I think you're right about it being Gene Colan.
Yeah, fantastic cover.
Oh,
So
it's
I got Surfer 1, Iron Man 1, Submariner 1, Hawk 102, Cap 100. There's a few more odds and ends I need to pick up, but yeah, I love this one. This is pretty nice.
yeah, that's another great Marvel key to have.
Yeah, I'm
68 was a good year for Marvel.
a big fan of the old 60 comics. Yeah, the 60s. Putting these back in the top loader when they're Mylars. I don't like crinkling up the bag, so I make sure it's in there pretty good.
Right.
All right. Hold on. I'll just deal with it later. Sure. Might be a two-hand operation. Hold on.
Take your time, my friend.
There we go. All right. So book number 4. This is kind of up Matt's alley. I've showed him this book before, but anytime we get opportunity to show it off.
Oh, yes, this is a good one.
Yeah. I Am Curious, Black.
That is probably, I have to say, one of the more ridiculous premises, in the sense that, you know, all they've done is really added a skin tone to her. Yet it seems like it's this huge deal to switch her and switch her back and all this stuff. Actually, it is a very big eye-opening book, and very daring for its time.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of it, when you read the story isn't, I mean, people want to portray like Superman's racist. I don't know how racist he is, you know, like she kind of, she's like a nurse and she's taking care of a black guy, I think, at the end of it. Like, I didn't see all the negativity that people kind of give this book, but the idea of it is very out of this world. Like, it's pretty fucking weird. Yeah, what a heck of a I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is probably the weirdest.
It is definitely one of the more weird storylines that are out there, but it does make you think. It really does.
Yeah. The cover is kind of funny. I mean, it's a fun book. Like, you want to have this in your collection. I always wanted to have it. It took me a while to get to it. I would rather have this than the first Silver Age Catwoman.
Right.
That's just me. But besides this, I would want the Catwoman out of the run, you know. But
yeah. Well, I believe the Catwoman book is the most expensive of the run, followed by number 1.
I tell you, dude, this one's a little harder to get in a low grade.
Wow. That I believe too.
Yep. And I don't know about number 1. Number 1 probably beats them both, but when I was going to get this, it was actually, you could get a first Silver Age Catwoman about $60-$70. This one's usually around 100. So I'd say this.
The last Catwoman I saw was for $350.
Oh, that must have been a pretty good condition one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm also talking Canadian dollars too, so probably be about $250 to $275 for you guys.
Well, my last book is my favorite Superman artist. I just found out he does Batman too. I don't know if he does any more than that. But I used to say Kurt Swan, Win Mortimer. Mm-hmm. Jurgens ain't bad. You know, D loves Jurgens, but Jack Burnley is to me what Schumberg was to Cap to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
So Superman 38.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I love this one. He did Superman 23, which I also have. He did a bunch of them from around 20 to about 40, I would think.
Yeah, that would be about right, because back at that time period, they were doing so much Superman and so much stuff that they actually hired. There were two places. The Schuster Siegel shop in Cleveland had some people, and DC Comics had some people. The one you're holding up right now, he was in the Cleveland shop, where guys like Wayne Boring were at DC Comics working directly for DC.
It's just a very clean looking Superman. Like, I love the face, I love the hair, I love the body. You see him on other books is about the same. He did World's Finest too. He did some good Batman covers too. So I'm always looking to try to get more in my collection.
Yeah, that's a good one there, Biggie. any Superman that's 50 or less
Mhm.
has got some. You want to show something? I'll make you.
No,
big
well,
again.
it's got the clear backer. I was just showing
Okay.
them the back of it.
Yes, I love. That's the other thing. Well, that's one thing I miss about comic books today. They don't seem to have as many back, back ads and stuff. Like, if they had more ads, I think that comic books would be surviving better. But obviously, the times being the times, you can't have it like that much anymore. All right. Now, I invite the chat to participate in this next section. This is our trivia game, our weekly trivia game. I've asked Biggie to come up, write up 3 questions. I've written up 3 questions, and we're going to ask each other. And if you guys in the chat know the answer, please go. Feel free to shout it out. Okay, Biggie, as the guest, you can ask the first question.
All right. Let me get my trusty pen pad out. All right. There are 5 first appearances in Marvel Comics #1. How many of them can you name?
Well, we've got the Submariner is not his first appearance, so
It's his first appearance in a
Marvel
comic.
Yeah, okay. There's the Human Torch. There's Professor Horton.
I don't know that one.
He's the guy who created the Human Torch.
Okay, that's not one of the superheroes, though.
No, I suppose there's the Angel.
Yep.
There is the Wizard.
Wizard,
yeah.
Wizard. Okay. I don't know that one either. I got 5 specific, but I'm sure there's more things. Like it's the first timely.
It might not even be Wizard. I'm guessing here. You got the Angel. Let's see here. Who's the guy in the blue?
Yeah, I think you're onto it.
Captain. I want to say Captain. Oh, geez. Captain Victory?
Nope.
No. Hi, Steve. Welcome to the show. All right, I'm stumped. I can't think of the
You got
others.
3 of them. That's not easy. All right. Angel, Kazar, Masked Raider, Torch,
okay.
Submariner.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thomas O'Donnell has given the answer. Were you waiting, Thomas? Were you waiting to for him to give it to you, or did you know it before?
Only one that he didn't get was Masked Raider, which I never heard of that one either before today. So,
all right. Well, my first one is probably pretty easy. Clark and Lois have known each other since 1938 in the comics. What year did Clark finally ask Lois to marry him?
Oh.
It was post-crisis, so after 1987.
I'm gonna guess 93, but I don't know.
It's pretty close. It was 1990. It was December 1990 issue of Superman.
Yeah. Good. It's a good question. All right. So
you're up with your second one there.
Okay. What 2 cartoons did Jack Kirby start his artistic career with?
Well, I know one of them was the Fleischer Supermans. I know that was one of them.
Yeah, that was a movie. I'm talking about. It was a cartoon movie. You're right. I'm talking about like.
I want to say.
It was maybe a younger age too. I don't think he started with Superman. He started with these 2.
Well, I want to say Tom and Jerry, and I want to say not Drippy the dog. He was too late. Heckle and Jekyll.
Chat got it. Popeye and Betty Boop.
Nice.
Good
Way to
job,
go,
guys.
Lau. Way to go, Lau and Thomas. I would not have guessed Betty Boop at all.
I know, right? Yeah, it's pretty.
No,
You know how old he was, dude? He was only like 16.
Yeah, it was definitely before his wartime. All right, my second question is, what organization captured Iron Man in Iron Man 1, the issue you held up?
I mean, I would guess Hydra.
No, that's not
No?
Hydra.
Well, that's Captain America's shit. Not Shield. What organization? No, I don't know. Let me. Oh, AIM. I see it. Chat got it.
Yeah, Chap got it. Yeah.
Good job.
Good job, Steve.
All right.
10 rings. No, it wasn't the Mandarin. Good guess though, K Munin. Your last question there, Biggie.
Okay. Which character had the curse of Kordax?
Curse of Kordax. Oh boy.
It's a two-parter, so if you know that, and then you could explain what makes it a curse of Kordax or something like that.
Was it the Ghost Rider? Curse of Kordax.
Kordax.
Doctor Strange? Am I even in the right company? No, okay. Came Union is saying Aquaman.
Yep. That's it.
All right. Well, what's the second part?
I'll give K Union a second to see if he can say the second part. You know what it is, K Union? What the distinctive tells of Curse of Kordax is? Okay. He'll probably get it right after I say it. It's any Atlantean or however you say it that's born with blonde hair.
Right. Now that you say that, I remember it now.
Yeah.
Like I remember the name and all that stuff. Not quite green skin. Blonde hair was considered to be a curse in Atlantis, and that's where the curse comes from. Now that he said that, I mean, sure, I'll sound like Alan. I knew that.
I knew that. Yeah, I just didn't want to say it right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, this one is probably going to be easy. But yes, Thomas, that's the right name. Kordax Grand, yeah. So, as a follow-up to your question there, I'm going to ask, what was the reason why Aqualad was exiled from Atlantis, if we're going to talk about curses? That's Garth. He's known as Garth, is his real name, and he's known as Tempest now. I'm
going to guess that he wanted to marry a land person.
No, it's similar to the being born blonde thing. It's a feature of he had purple eyes.
Purple eyes, holy shit!
And apparently, purple eyes were considered bad luck and would bring bad things to Atlantis. So he was exiled.
Okay.
In 16 or whatever, and that's how Aquaman met him. No, Steve, it's not bad gas. Good guess, but not bad gas.
I have a couple more if you don't mind, but if you don't...
Yeah, I was going to do mine, and then we can do your couple more. I have no problem going on with trivia.
Good.
Trivia is a lot of fun. Okay, this one's probably really easy. Everybody should get it, but I want it to be. We've had some hard ones in the last couple of weeks, so I wanted to do one or two that the chat could get. Who is the artist that did the Bender cover that Alan loves?
Oh,
which
that's
is
Schumberg.
regular comics. Yeah, 49. I know it's easy, but
That's not.
we had to get the Bender cover in there somehow. All right, go
I
ahead.
probably should have waited. Next time I'll wait.
That's fine. You're supposed to be the one that's answering them first, when the chat can throw them out if they know them too. So, all right, let's hear the extra ones.
Okay. So everybody knows Jack Kirby's Jack Kirby. Can anybody give me his real name and his first alias before Jack Kirby? Yeah, multiple, but there's one specific.
Wow, I know he liked the name Jack. You know, it's slipping my memory. I know his first name, his real name, and I can't think of it. It's a Jewish name. That doesn't help.
Don't hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. As soon as I saw it, Thomas has it at Jakob Kurtzberg. Yep.
That's his original maiden name.
Yeah. The other one he liked was Jack.
He actually did some work and signed off as this name.
Yeah, I know. Was it Jack Hill?
No, you got the first half right though.
No. Well, he always liked the name Jack. That much I remember. The Kirpster.
That's a good one.
I like that one, Lau. By the way, I got to meet Lau over the weekend at the comic show I was at.
Oh wow, that's very cool.
You know, so he's a very nice guy.
All right. I think I'll just let it rip. It's Jack Curtis.
Curtis, of course. I've read like 4 biographies of the man. You'd think I'd remember this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
I could learn something about Jack Kirby every day, and I'd be happy. So I love it. All
right. Well, we've got Curtis, Jack. So in the chat. So all right. What? And you have any more questions there, Biggie?
I do. I got one more.
All right.
So there was a Turtles Jack Kirby collaboration. Does anybody know which issue it was? They also did a cartoon episode, but I'm talking about just comic book.
Well, the guy Krang looks like something Jack Kirby would come up with. So
I think they called him the King in the comic. I have the book. I just found this out. I knew there was Jack Kirby Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle original art, but I didn't know that there was a comic book. I just thought he might have did original art, you know. So
Thomas is asking where he appeared
in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle book. Eastman and Laird thought it would be cool to have Jack Kirby meet one of the turtles. I'm giving you a hint right there, like one of the turtles. So I didn't just say the turtles. So
let's go with issue 9.
Okay.
Of the Turtles.
That's a good what's her name?
Well,
that's it. You got it. Donatello 1.
Donatello 1. Okay.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm so glad I got it.
That is so nice, guys. Thanks for the trivia, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to wrap up shortly, but before we go, I just want to point out to everybody that we are only 4 subscribers away from our big giveaway. So I'm hoping that we'll reach that number before the end of the week, in which case we will have I will post the video that you can comment on, and we'll go from there. We'll schedule a live show. We're going to have a couple of guests for the live show, and we're going to do basically it'll just be an extra show that week. And oh, that is cool. I did not know that for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty deep lore, ain't it, man?
Yeah.
It's got a whole lore about it. Yeah, it's really interesting.
If there's one thing I love about comics, it's the fact that there's always something else you don't know, something new to discover every day. Like, I mean, I've got a pile this big of books I haven't read yet. Like, and even if I read them, I'm going to go back and read them 10 years later and be like reading for the first time in a lot of cases, because I won't remember necessarily everything from it, but also the second reading, the third reading, you learn things you didn't know the first time. And when I do the research for videos, it's amazing. Like, I think I know stuff, but I'm only scratching the surface.
Yeah, it's just like us reading that Captain America 1. I knew what happened in the first little short story.
Exactly.
I forgot about the other 3 parts or whatever.
Exactly. I read the whole thing. I read the 2 stories too. That
even read the jungle shit or whatever that was at the end. Yeah, I didn't read that one. I left that one out.
Because I've already read the book. I'll read it through because there's still stories. I don't tend to read the text stories though. But you know who wrote that text story, eh?
No.
Stan Lee.
Which one? What are you talking about?
The text story in Captain America 1.
I thought that Stan Lee didn't do anything in Cap until number 3.
Oh, well then it's possible. But I thought it was number 1. But if you're saying it wasn't until 3, then I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, that's what makes.
I know that's where he got to start, was doing the Cap.
It's really weird, Matt, because number 3 is worth more money than number 2 a lot of cases because of the Stan Lee joining in.
Then I'll believe you. I'll probably look it up and it'll be that Thomas is saying later. I mean, I thought it was 1 because he was their assistant, like right from day 1. Like, he was their gopher. He was the sandwich.
It's good to know it now before we did our review, so it's all good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I want to give a big thank you very much to the Immortal Biggishaq for joining us tonight. Biggie, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm a big fan. I saw you do this with Lyle, and I was like, heck yeah. Sorry I didn't bring in as many viewers, I didn't get my room, but we had a good episode. I enjoyed it all, dude.
I'm not I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to do this. If people want to watch, I'm very happy, and if they don't, well, I'm
very sorry.
I'm still happy to be doing it. So anyway, next week, actually, speaking of Lyle's coming back. We're going to be doing something a little different with Lyle. It's not like we did the last time, but we're going to have a couple of different games that we're going to try out with him on some new stuff. So everybody, thank you very much for coming. My name's Matt, and I like comics, and I hope you do too. Night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.